everyone. Welcome to Mindful Mondays for August 3rd, 2020. The reason why we've been doing Mindfulness Mondays this summer has been things have been very stressful and uncertain in the world lately, and practicing mindfulness techniques can help us to control how we feel and respond to what is happening around us and help us to focus on what we can control and to live more fully in the present moment. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about stress, worry, and school. I know that there's a lot of anxiety about what's happening um, with returning to school this fall and how that's going to be handled. And I wanted to review some techniques we've talked about that can give you some tools to help you as you proceed through the school year because um, we're in kind of uncharted waters right now. So here are some resources that you can use to help manage stress and um, live more mindfully and give yourself a better sense of control and how you're responding to the situation. So the first thing is to manage your expectations. If you expect that things could potentially be stressful this year, when it does happen, you will actually feel less stress. They've done research on this. So try and keep your expectations manageable. Um, you can't expect that this year is going to happen and have exactly the same results as last year. There's going to be a lot of learning from everyone as we go and how we navigate this new world dealing with COVID. So keep in mind that you will encounter stress and that you can choose how you respond. Allowing it to stress you out is something that you have some control over. So, one of the things we had talked about recently in the Mindfulness Mondays has been acceptance. And acceptance gives us the ability to move forward and focus on solutions. When we resist something, we're focused on the problem and not on how to address it and move forward. So, thinking about you may not like what's happening, it may not have been your preference or your choice, but you can accept that this is the way it's going to happen and how you're going to respond and move forward. Um, our brains are very flexible, and the more you practice doing new things and approaching things in different ways, the stronger your neural pathways will be and the more flexible your brain will be to adapting to that change. um, it's something that the way you think and the way you act can actually change your brain the more you practice that. So some of these exercises that we'll talk about are not only helpful for managing stress, but the more you practice them, they actually will train your brain to respond to things in a different manner and hopefully a more positive way. So when you experience something stressful, try and redirect your attention to your breathing. Focus on breathing slowly and deeply from your stomach. You should feel your stomach move outward as you take a breath. And you want to inhale through your nose slowly and deeply. Hold that breath for a count of 4. And then exhale through your mouth slowly for a count of 8. And you can repeat that as necessary. But sometimes just once you've done this once and then you continue to focus on your breathing and maintain slow, deep breaths will help to bring your stress level to a more manageable place. When we're feeling anxiety or fear, we tend to take very fast, shallow breaths. So if you can slow that down, you can change how your body is reacting and responding. And practicing mindfulness and bringing your attention to the present moment. So as you're breathing and practicing your breathing, try not to do anything specific. You don't have a specific objective in mind. Just observe and let things be as they happen around you, without judgment. And then as you're proceeding through that moment, do a body scan and get in touch with your senses and what you're feeling. So what sensations are you feeling? What are you hearing? What are some of the smells? What are things that you're seeing? If you're eating, what are you tasting in that moment? And really bring your attention to that. A lot of times we go through life and we kind of focus on one sense at a time, and we miss out on all these other things that are happening around us. So really try and ground yourself in that present moment by getting in touch with your senses, and then bring your attention outward to the present moment and reframe what is happening around you. Not what you think or what you're afraid is going to happen, but what is actually happening at that moment. Another technique that we had talked about that can be useful is using the stop technique and reminding yourself that what you're thinking is not necessarily the fact of what's happening in that moment. So you're going to stop what you're doing, you're going to take a few breaths, and then you're going to observe your experience just as it is. So, what are some of your thoughts? Recognize and acknowledge that that's something that you are thinking and feeling, and any emotions that you have that are happening. But notice what is fact and what is not. And that just because you're worried about something that might happen doesn't mean that is what's happening at this present moment. And notice how your body feels in that moment. And then proceed moving forward with something that will help support you to cope in a stressful moment. So maybe it's talking through the situation with somebody. Maybe it's meditating. Maybe it's practicing your breathing exercises. Maybe it's journaling. Whatever will help you kind of work through that present moment of stress. The other thing is to remember to practice self-care. Try and get enough sleep, and that's not just getting so many hours a night, but practicing trying to set the same time that you go to bed each night and wake up each morning, and that you're practicing good sleep hygiene in the sense that you are trying to reduce your screen time prior to going to sleep for the night, that you are in a dark room, that you're reducing sound if you need earplugs, that sort of thing, to help encourage your body to sleep. Unplug. Take a time out from technology and from social media, and leave your phone and don't carry it with you for a period of time, even if it's 10 minutes a day or a half an hour a day. It's amazing how much our attention gets focused on the fear of missing out. And when you pick that device back up, you realize not really much has gone by that you missed in that time. And that takes our attention away from what's happening in the present moment. Practice your affirmations, reflect, journal, revisit something that you enjoy doing, a hobby or an old skill that you really enjoyed, and reconnect with that and focus on what you're doing in that moment. And then move. Do something. It doesn't have to be long in duration, 10 minutes, walking, yoga, a simple workout, something to move your body. All of these things are tools that can help you as you move forward through the school year to help you manage your stress and your expectations and how you respond. Thanks for joining us. We hope you have a great school year.